This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hi, I'm Jason, and this is my Isperia, the Supreme Judge deck. Hey guys, this is my Isperia, the Supreme Judge deck. It's 6 for a 6/4 flyer. Whenever you or a planeswalker you control get attacked, you get to draw a card. So I really like these two colors because they're really control-y, countery, wrathing. You have a lot of control over the game. So let's get into it. Alright, we have Academy Ruins to get back artifacts from your graveyard. Nimbus Maze to tap for either color plus a colorless. Glacial Fortress taps for either color. Kor Haven is a kind of political card because if you tap 2, you can prevent combat damage to from a target attacking creature. Mystifying Maze, exile an attacking creature. Celestial Colonnade taps for either or becomes a 4/4 white flying blue elemental with vigilance. This one taps for 2 for a pain of either color or a colorless. Temple of the False God just lets you get to the bigger spells quicker. Reliquary Tower, because you're going to be drawing a lot, you want no maximum hand size. Alright, we have 19 islands and 12 basic planes. Alright, getting into the artifacts, we have Gilded Lotus, taps for 3 mana of any color. Soul Ring, Thran Dynamo, 3 colorless. Venser's Journal, no maximum hand size, and you gain a life for each card in your hand. Spellbook, no maximum hand size. Alright, getting into the instances, we have Dissipate, counter a spell, exile the spell. Faerie Trickery, same thing, only if it's a fairy spell, it doesn't get exiled. Desertion, counter a spell, if it's an artifact creature put into play under your control. Cryptic Command with the 4 modes, counter a spell, return permanent to its owner's hand, tap all creatures opponents control, or draw a card. Rewind, counter untap 4. Hinder, counter, put it on top or bottom. Dream Fracture, counter draw. Counterspell, counter spell. Spell Crumple, counter, put it on the bottom as well as this. Dismiss, counter spell, draw card. Negate, counter non-creature spell. Time Stop is really nice because you can stop those uncounterable spells, things like that, because you just end the turn, remove everything from the stack. Factor Fiction, Brainstorm, Jace's Ingenuity, draw 3, Opportunity, draw 4. Sphinx Revelation, draw X, gain X life, instant. Blue Sun Zenith, draw X. Swords of Plowshares, exile a creature, same with Path. Return to Dust, exile artifact or enchantment. If it's on your own turn, you can exile both. Getting into the Wrath, Supreme Verdict, can't be countered. Route is really nice, it's a Wrath, but if you pay 2 extra, it can be at instant speed. Wrath of God, Day of Judgment. Austere Command with the modes, destroy all artifacts or enchantments, or destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less, or destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 4 or greater. Ponder, Ancestral Vision. Getting into the draws now. Recurring Insight. It's really nice. Rite of Replication for when, this doesn't run a lot of creatures, so sometimes it's nice to copy other people's creatures. Concentrate, draw. Academy Rector, when she dies you get to tutor up any enchantment and put it directly into play. Glenolendra, pay a blue, sacrifice or counter target non-creature spell. She has Persist, so you get to do it twice. Magus of the Future, be able to play the top card of your library as though it was in your hand. Ulamog is really nice just because it shuffles up your graveyard back into your library. Also, he destroys a permanent when you cast him, and he annihilates 4. Really good for late game. Archon of Justice, whenever he dies, you exile a problem permanent. Phyrexian Metamorph comes into play, copies a creature or artifact that you may need. Guile, whenever you counter a spell, you get to play that spell without paying its mana cost, and he also requires 3 blockers to block him. These guys, if you get 5 or more counters on them, you win the game. It's kind of like an alternate win condition while controlling the game. Teferi makes it so you can basically play out your turns because people can't play spells, and they can only play spells as long as they were at sorcery speed. So basically, you're protected on your own turn to do what you want. Solemn tutors up a land, and then when he dies, draw a card. Consecrated Sphinx, draw 2 cards whenever another player draws a card. Mugen of the Seeing Winds, remove the divinity counter draw for each permanent you control. Mole Drifter, draw 2 cards whenever it comes into play. Evoke cost for 3. Arcanist, tap him, draw 3 cards, and then if someone tries to remove him, you can pay 4 to return him to your hand. Getting into the enchantments, Thought Reflection, whenever you draw a card, draw 2 instead. Omniscience is really good. You can play everything from your hand basically for free. Rhystic Study, whenever an opponent plays a spell, you get to draw unless they pay 1. Dovescape, combo's really good with Guile. Basically, whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, counter that spell, and you put X 1/1 white and blue flying bird tokens on the battlefield where X is a converted mana cost. So with Guile, it just loops and loops and you have infinite bird tokens. Mind Unbound, at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a counter on it, you draw a card for each counter. Getting into the Planeswalkers, you have Tameo, Jason Mind Sculptor, Jace Bellerin, and Venser. And that's my deck. Thank you for watching CMDR Decks. Please subscribe and favorite.